Hi everyone, I'm Hemalata. I'm HRMS consultant at Applica Technologies. So, as we know, all Magrudy's is using Business Central as an ERP for their business transactions. Departments like retail, warehouse, logistics, uniform, manufacturing, and finance, and etc. So, some of the employees are already aware of a Business Central as an end users. So now why Magrudy's has decided to implement Pay app, which is an HRMS product for Magrudy's. So why means Pay app is developed on top of Business Central. Business Central it is already using by Magrudy's. So Magrudy's has chosen to centralize the transactions or everything in one ERP. They have chosen Pay app, which is developed on top of Business Central. And this pay app product is having ESS, which is meant by employee self-service. So what are all advantages of ESS is employee can download the payslip, they can request for any documents and they can send approval like overtime request, leave request, document request, travel and expense claim request and also late in, early out. Everything is automated here and employee can directly send the request for the approval. And also employee can see the information of his employment date, which department he belongs to and who is the line manager for him, as well as what is the annual leave balance and sick leave balance and how many hours of OT the employee is currently having, that is available OT hours. And employee majorly what they can see on a daily basis is if an employee comes late, late in request will get generate. If employee leaves early, early out request will be created. Suppose if employee missed to punch in or punch out, missed punch in punch out request will be generated. So these requests are based on the employee's assigned calendar hours time. So whatever the total hours of an employee in a particular day has to log in, he has to log in between. Suppose from 7:30 to 5 p.m. he has to log in. So if employee doesn't log in between 7:30 to 5 p.m., whatever the request will be generated, that will be sent for approval. So when I take you through the product, I can explain you one by one where you will get to know more information on everything. Now let us go to the product level. So login information, everything will be provided from the Magrudy site. This URL link also will be provided from the Magrudy site. Now it will ask for a sign in. So sign in for which login user you are using. If you are an ESS user, you have to mention ESS and password will be given by the Magrudy site. Currently it is ESS username. I am mentioning ESS username and password will be provided from the Magrudy site, which has employee has to maintain the same. And then click on sign in. Once the sign in happened, this is we are in ESS login now. Again the system will ask for a employee number and password. So employee has to enter the employee ID and password given by the Magrudy's. Okay, now I am entering an employee number 01025 and password will be provided from the company side. Employee has to enter the employee number and password. and then click on OK to sign in. Okay. This is the welcome page. Employee can see here all the details. Here in the ribbon part, they can see salary slip, leave request, document request, loans and advances, overtime request, early in request, late in and early out request, travel requisition and expense claim request, missed punch in request, employee comp off request. And welcome, and their name will be shown here. So here in employee information, employee can see their name, designation, which department they belongs to, and who is the line manager for this employee, and the employment date of an employee to this organization. So available OT hours if any. Okay. Since the employee has not got any overtime request approved, so it is empty here. So I told you earlier, annual leave balance and sick leave balance is available here. So here we comes to the queues, ESS queue. So in my approvals category, all pending approval request will be here, approved request, rejected request, and comp of leave request. Whether it is approved and rejected comp of request will be in this queue. All types of pending requests will be here, whether it is from HR manager and line manager. All approved requests will come and sit here in approved request. All rejected requests will be here. In my request category, these are all the queues available in my request category. Leave request. Some of the requests will be auto generated. Say for example, unpaid leave request will be in leave request queue. Okay. Unpaid leave request, OT request, and late in and early out requests, missed punch in and punch out request. So these are all auto generated requests. So based on your punch in details taken by the system, these requests will be generated. I'll explain you in detail. If we come down here, we can see employee timing informatory, wherein employee can see their attendance entries. Okay, from 1st of every month to 30th of 30 or 31st of the current month, they can see the information. And here we can see how many hours this calendar is. 9 hours of working. Now I will take you through one by one request. First we will take salary slip. Click on salary slip. This salary class and employee number will be system updated. Employee has to select the pay period. Employee needs to select the pay period. Pay periods will be only posted pay periods will be coming here. Employee has to select the pay period here. Click on OK. And then you have to click on preview and close. Since the salary information is confidential, I am not giving preview and close. Employee can give preview and close, and then they can download the payslip. Okay. Now I am cancelling this. Then we will go to document request. Click on document request. Okay. And click on new. Request ID, employee number, employee name will be automatically updated by the system once you select the request date. Select the date. As I told, all these details will be automatically updated by the system. Employee number, name and request ID. Here we are having an option of 3 certificates like salary certificate, no objection certificate, experience certificate, and others. So if employee is requesting any of these particular documents means employee can directly select this document and click on send request document. If employee is requesting apart from these 3 documents means employee has to click on others, then description will be enabled. Here employee can type whatever the document is needed. Say for example, insurance copy. Okay. And now they can send this document for the approval. Document request will be directly reaching to the HR. System will ask for the confirmation for all the requests. You have to click on yes. Okay. Now the status got changed to pending approval. This request is pending for approval. When it is approved, status will get changed as approved. Document whatever the employee has requested, that can be sent by the HR through an email, or they can provide hard copy also. Okay, we are done with salary slip and document request. Now we will see leave request. Click on, we can go in the queue also. Click on leave request. So employee can see what and all unpaid leaves got generated. This employee has many unpaid leaves got generated. In leave request, employee can request for all types of leaves, whatever the based on the eligibility of the employee, like annual leave, sick leave, emergency leave, maternity leave or paternity leave. It belongs to the absence group, whatever the employee or company's policy, whatever the leaves are being assigned to this employee will be eligible to avail the leaves. Okay. So unpaid leave request, for unpaid leave request, we are generating the unpaid leave request when employee has no punching details in the assigned timings of the calendar. Suppose the employee has an assigned to 7:30 to 5 p.m. System will search for the punch in or punch out data in between 7:30 to 5 p.m. If system could not get any punching details in between 7:30 to 5 p.m., system will be generated unpaid leave request. And second scenario, when employees available overtime hours reaches to the negative hours of the total hours of assigned calendar. So total hours is in one day the employee has to log in these hours. So employees total hours is 9 hours means the employee minus overtime hours reaches minus 9 hours. Then for that current date, system will generate one unpaid leave request. So this unpaid leave request can be converted into sick leave and annual leave also if they have enough balance. And this can be converted into comp off request also if the employee has sufficient overtime balance. If they don't have overtime sufficient balance means they can work for extra hours, and then overtime request will get generated. First employee has to request the overtime for approval. Once it is approved, they can convert this unpaid leave request into comp off. Once it is converted into comp off, that if they have sufficient overtime balance like minus 9 hours, then it will be compensated with that and it will become 0 for that particular day. Now I will open any of the auto generated unpaid leave request. Okay. Employee can see all this information: employee number, name, absence code. Employee can change the absence code here, as I told you. Okay. Now I will select annual leave. Click on OK. Okay. Employee has 12.5 annual leave balance. Now I'm converting this unpaid leave to annual leave, and now it has become 11.5. Okay. If any holidays are there, it will come here, and weekends will be coming here. Leave days, I am taking only one day, 20th/8/2023. Start date and end date is same. If employee wants to and mention any comments, means he can mention here and send it for approval. Okay. Now I'll be sending this converted annual leave request for the approval and click on send approval request. System will ask for the confirmation and click on yes. Status got changed to pending approval. Come back. Now we will create one leave request. Click on new. So employee number and request number and employee name will be automatically updated by the system. We need to select the absence code here. I will select emergency leave. Click on OK. Select the date. I'm selecting from 4 to 5th. Current balance is 15 for emergency and closing balance is 13. Leave taken is 2 days. Employee can select any of these leaves. For sick leave, there will be a validation, like employee need to submit the attachment. Sorry, it got changed to annual leave, emergency leave. Click on OK. Now I'm sending this leave for the approval. Click on send approval request. Status got changed to pending approval. So this is about leave leave request. Now we will convert one unpaid leave request into comp of request. On 27/8/2023, date is. Here we have an option called generate comp of request. This employee has not availed any OT hours. We will request for this and we will approve some of the OT hours, and then we can check OT hours are getting deducted once this request is approved or not. And click on generate comp of request. Like this. System will ask for the confirmation. Click on yes. Okay. Now we can go and see in comp of request. So here in comp of request queue, the request has come here on 27/8/2023. compensate hours to compensate is minus 9 hours. System will take the total hours assigned calendar for that particular day. Now we will send this request for approval. Click on send approval request. Click on yes. Okay. Status got changed to pending approval, and approval pending from which employee's ID and name also will be shown here. So this is all about leave request, mean how the unpaid leave can be converted into annual leave, sick leave, and also comp off request. Now we will go to loan request. Click on loan request and click on new. So in loan request, the two validation has been given. For Magrudy's loan, that will be an validation, it will not exceed the accrued gratuity amount, and second one is salary advance will not exceed 1 month gross salary. Employee can take only accrued gratuity amount for the loan, and employee can avail 1 month's gross salary as a salary advance. This loan request number, employee number, name will be automatically updated by the system. Employee has to select the request date. Let's take current date. Deduction start date, it should be greater than the requested date. Deduction start date, I will give as from January. Loan type, we will select as Magrudy's loan. Employee has to request the amount here. Employee can request for the amount whichever employee needs. Currently I am taking 1000. Okay. And number of installments, in how many installments employee can pay back or settle the loan, employee can decide, and employee can mention the installments, and installment amount will be automatically updated by the system based on the amount and number of installments. Okay. If you click on installment detail, here we can see when by end of every month loan amount will be deducted. So 31st 2024 will be falling in February month pay cycle. So in February February month pay cycle, this 500 will be deducted as a loan amount, installment amount. Okay. For this, employee can HR can pay along with the salary also, and if they want to make a separate payment, HR will decide and make separate payment for that. And employee can put any comments here, and we approve the request. Line manager comment and HR manager comment, employee can see when the request is approved or rejected if they put any comments. Okay. Now click on send approval request. Do you want to send for approval? Yes. Okay. So this is about loan request. Loan or salary advance employee can receive. Next is overtime request. Click on overtime request queue. Employee can see all auto generated overtime requests. Let us select one overtime request. Here employee can see all the details when the request got generated and when the opening employee has worked for overtime extra hours. On 23/8, employee has logged in by 9 and logged out by 16:26, 7 hours. Maybe that day could be an weekend, so employee has worked. So if employee worked in the week of date, the total hours will be considered as overtime hours. In weekdays, working days, if employee worked for extra, I means from the end time of an calendar to any 1 hour, minimum considered for the OT, minimum 1 hour will be considered. So we can see auto generated overtime, and manually also we can generate overtime request, and overtime request will be generated on top of any approved, missed punch in, punched out, and also early in will also be considered as overtime, but it will not be in request. Early in will be a separate request. Once it is approved, it will be directly added to the available OT hours. Okay. So now employee has not got any OT hours, so that is why remaining OT hours is empty. If employee logged in the same day but has no punch in details, he has attended some other meetings outside Dubai or outside the office premises, means employee can select this overtime request, the date if it is same, they can give edit here, click on edit, and employee can change the hours here, actual OT hours. I will make it as 10 hours. Okay. Actual in time out time will be here, and start time extra 3 hours I have taken. So end time is 16:26 from 17 to 20. Okay. Employee can put comment here. Meeting from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. in Dubai. Okay. Any comment he can put and send this request for approval. I will click on send approval request now. Click on yes. Okay. Now we will see how manual overtime request can be created. Click on new. Select the date on which employee has worked. Okay. Now enter actual overtime hours. Suppose 5 hours. Employee can select the start time and end time from 10 to 15. He can put any comment and send the request for approval. I'm clicking on send approval request. System will ask for the confirmation. Click on yes. We will come back. So these are all auto generated overtime requests. Overtime request will be generated on top of missed punch in and missed punch out also. If it is missed punch in, if employee has come in late, come in early, like 1 hour before the start time of the calendar assigned calendar time, So for overtime or early in, minimum consideration hours will be 1 hour. Now we will see early in request. We will see after the Mr. Punchin request. Now we have covered OT request. Now we have seen document request also. Now we will see expense claim request. Click on expense claim request. Click on new. So here employee has to select from date and to date, employee which traveled on that particular day, and to request the claim amount. First to first, same day, claim date, we will give it as current date. Here current date we will give travel and expense code. This has to be selected by the employee. It is for food or fuel. Employee can select here. It is fixed amount. Currency is AED. Value will be mentioned as 50. And now employee can put any comments. So for whatever he has gone, if it is any meeting, conference, or whatever could be, he can put his comments and send this for approval. Do you want to send for approval? System will ask for the confirmation date and click on yes. Okay. So this is about travel requisition and expense claim. So this categories, whether it is food or fuel, this will be created from the HR side. Whatever they have created, whatever the benefits are available in Magrudy's, that will be created as food, fuel, or any other allowance, and then employee can select for the same. Now the request is sent for approval. This is about travel and expense claim request. Now we will see late in and early out. Click on the queues. Okay, we can see many late in and early outs here. Now we will see late in and early out requests. Let us open any of the requests. This is early out. I will explain you one early out and one late in. So this is early out. Employees standard time which is assigned calendar is 7:30 to 4:30 p.m. start time and end time. But employee has logged out by 14:10, which is 2:10, which is 2 hours 19 minutes early employee has logged out. So the system has generated the early out. Request date will refers to the date which got the system created the request. Comp of date is the date about this the employee punch in details date. Employee will a system will search for punching and punch out in between 7:30 to 5:30. If employee left early than 16:30, which is 4:30 p.m., employee will system will create early out request. We can send this request for approval. Click on send request. Click on yes. Okay. Now we will see one late in request. Okay. As we know, Assigned calendar time is 7:30 to 4:30. Employee has come 21 minutes late, which is 7:51. Grace time will be allocated by the HR manager based on the company policy. If they have any grace time for 2 minutes or 5 minutes, system will wait for 2 minutes and 5 minutes. If system couldn't get any timing for in this grace time, system will calculate after the grace time how much is the, like suppose 7:30 is a start time. If employee comes 7:31, if the grace time is 5 minutes, system will take for 6 minutes, so 5 minutes. If employee comes in between 7 to 7:30 to 7:35, system will not create any latent request if the grace time is 5 minutes. It all depends on the grace time given by the company. So this is latent. Okay, latent request is generated on the same day itself. Okay, and click on send request. So system will search for the punching details in between 7:30 to 4:30. If system couldn't find any punch in and punch out details in between 7:30 to 4:30, system will generate unpaid. If system finds any late in means after 7:30, early out means 4:30 p.m. System will create late in and early out. And click on send request. Click on yes. Request has been sent. Click on OK. We have seen late in and early out. Now we will see missed punch in and punch out requests. Click on the queue. Here we can see many missed punch in and punch out. Okay. We will select any of the requests, one punch in and punch out, and we will send a request for approval. Click on edit. On 21/11/2023, employee's actual time is 7:49 and there is no punch out time. So it could be a missed punch out. Employee has not punched out, it seems. So system generated punched out, actually missed punch out request. So here we have to select the date. Okay, and what time the employee has punched out. Now we will see, as I told, on top of missed punch out, overtime request will be generated. Actually, employee's logout time is 4:30. I will make it as 6 p.m. which is 18. Okay. Overtime is 1 hour. Here it is showing. Once the missed punch out request is approved, on this particular day, overtime request has to create. We will see once I will request this approve, and then we can check this 21/11/2023 overtime request has got generated or not. Okay. I will send this request for approval. Send missed punching request for approval. Click on yes. Okay. Now we will see one missed punch in. Okay. On 22/11/2023, employee has not punched in but punched out by 14:27. Select the date. Time in. We will for this we will mention for early in. 7:30 is a login time. We will mention as 6 a.m. Okay. So OT hours is -32 because employee has left early. So it is showing 14:27. Once this request is approved. We can check this on this date. Early in has also, early out has also got generated or not. On 22nd, we will check early in because start time is 7:30. Actual in time I'm mentioning 6 a.m. Minimum hour for early in is 1 hour, and the employee has to punch in prior to 1 hour. Before that, system will not be able to capture the timings, but employee can request 5 hours of early in. Maximum is 5 hours of early in. Employee can request. I will send this request also for approval. Okay. So now we have seen all this except early in. Let me approve some of the requests from the line manager and HR manager, and then I will show you how this calculation of overtime hours and early in also we can see. Okay, now I have approved some of the requests. We will just refresh the screen and we will get to know how many requests are approved. Here earlier it was empty, now it is 15 hours. Employee can see the breakup also for which request. I have sent the request for 10 hours for approval and 5 hours of manual OT also. Employee can see the expiry date also here, when this will expire. Okay, 4 requests got approved, 2 overtime and 1 missed punch in and punched out. Okay, on missed punch in and punched out, one missed punch in early in request we will see because we have logged in by 6 a.m. Okay, click on new and select the early in date. Believe it is on 22nd. Okay, click on. So system will be calculated. Just select the date and click on anywhere in the page. You will get actual punch in details and punch out details and how many hours of overtime. 1 hour overtime got generated here. This is about early in request, and employee can select put any comments here if any comments are there, and click on send approval request. Yes, this is about early in. Now earlier we sent one request for missed punch out and 1 hour late. On 21/11/2023, I entered as 6 p.m. The employee has to actual employee start time and end time is from 7:30 to 4:30. I entered for missed punch out on 18. So once the request is approved, overtime request got generated for 1 hour. That is 1.5 hour, but consideration is only hours for overtime. We can send this also for approval. You want to send for approval, click on yes. Okay, so now we have seen all these requests and how the comp of we have generated one comp of request also. Since we have 15 hours of overtime now, we can see how the deduction happens. Okay. Okay, this is sent for approval. Let me approve and check whether 9 hours will get deduct from this 15 hours or not. I have approved one comp of request for minus 9 hours. Let me refresh the screen. Okay. So available OT hours is 6 hours. 9 hours got reduced from 15 hours. Okay, till now we have seen all the request how to send for approval, and also once it is approved it is coming here. So what in case rejection happens? So all rejected request will be reopened. Let me reject one request and we can reopen the request and again we can send that request for approval. I have rejected one request now. We will refresh. Okay, we got one rejected request here. So since we got one compo of approved, it is coming here. We can open the request and see the status will be compensated with OT. Okay. Now click on my rejected requests. Click on view OT request. Here we have an option called reopen. This request is got rejected. You can reopen, and from here only you can send if any if comments are not there, or if any comments are there we can find this record in overtime request again, and then we can mention any comments and send the request. So for now I will send the request from here itself in this page. So this is open now. Status got opened. Now I will send this request for approval. Click on yes. Okay. Now this is rejected request queue. No available requests are here in rejected. Okay. So these are all about the responsibilities of an ESS employee. I request all the ESS employees to log in on a daily basis to send this request and get it approved, and then you can compensate with a late in early outs. Okay, I hope you all like this information. If you have any questions, you are free to ask with me. So if any suggestions or comments are open, you can just share with your team, and your team will be sharing with us. On top of this, if anything is required, surely we will share the information. Thank you.